These multinational corporations all do entirely different things. Starbucks sells coffee on the high street. Amazon sells lots of different things online. Google helps people navigate through life. But what they all have in common is that they're very successful and wealthy companies which have paid tiny amounts of tax in Britain and elsewhere for years, and at a time when many countries have been running out of money. So politicians have become more than eager to know how they justify this.
You depend on the ability of your of getting your goods around, so you've got to get the roads in place. You depend on all those things, and probably worst of all, both you and Mr. Alsted employ people on probably minimum wage if we're lucky, and then we, the taxpayer, pick up the tax credit bill for that too. So we're putting a lot of money back into the people you put, and you're not putting enough tax into our economy. That's what's riding us all.
The men from Google, Amazon and Starbucks didn't have much to say for themselves other than to repeat their usual line that nothing they do is illegal. But everyone knows they set up companies in low-tax places like Ireland or Luxembourg to avoid paying tax on things they sell in Britain. Of course, complying with tax law is one thing, acting inside the spirit of the law something else altogether. And what aggravates public opinion here, and no doubt elsewhere so much, is that while the little man, the small business owner, is being squeezed for every last penny of tax, these very large corporations employ armies of lawyers to try to avoid paying it. It appears, at least, that they are not acting for the benefit of the greater good. Faced with this, some campaigners have taken to trying to shame big business into submission. This much-viewed film shows campaigners hijacking a conference dinner on tax avoidance, at which the guest of honour was the man in charge of the UK government's tax service.
Britain obviously has massive influence on the network of tax havens. A lot of these sort of islands out in the Caribbean are actually sort of linked to Britain in various ways, and so the British government could have some real influence on shutting down international tax havens. And you know, there's no shortage of potential solutions out there, but what we've been seeing so far is a real lack of political will on behalf of the government.
It's also becoming clear that if big companies did pay what they're supposed to, then Britain would barely be in deficit, and the government wouldn't have to make as many cuts as it has. Getting multinational businesses to pay tax could easily end up being the solution to Europe's financial crisis. Laurence, Al Jazeera, London.